Welcome to today's program. Again, this is Let's Talk. Are you ready to get married? Before I dive into the second part of this program, let me first and foremost thank every dear member and fan that is watching this every Monday evening. Thank you very much. Thanks to you, I am encouraged. I'm able to do this again and again and again. For those who are sharing my videos, that is so very appreciated. Keep doing what you're doing. I like it. I'm blessed. May the Lord bless each and every one of y'all. Without procrastinating now, let's go into the second part of this program. What do you look for in a mate? So certain people wear their wedding rings on a wrong finger, and when they're asked, they say, "Oh, because I'm married to a wrong woman." What? Now, the question I have for you today is, what do you look for in a mate? How should you proceed if somebody of the opposite sex is attractive to you? How should you proceed? Now, this excludes a certain category. I'm not talking about a girl you see on the internet, on applications such as Tinder app or on plentyoffish.com. Talking about a girl you see eye to eye, real life. What happens if you are attractive to that kind of person? This excludes as well long distance relationship. I'm not an expert on long distance relationship. You got a chick in Africa and you want to maintain a long distance relationship. You know who you should turn to? Western Union and MoneyGram and Villar. They'll tell you the secret on how to maintain this relationship by how you can send money. But today I'll talk about a girl you meet face to face. What should you do? Ask yourself two questions. Number one, is my intention really to get married? Remember one thing important. It is cruel to play with another person's emotions by raising false expectation. Did you know that? That's very cruel. So ask yourself a second question. Am I in position to get married? If the answer is yes to those two questions, follow me on this. This is what you got to do now. Observe the chick for a while. Approach her and express your desire to get better acquainted. Notice I didn't say your desire to marry her. That is a mistake. If you go with that kind of gear for the first time, you want to talk to a girl and all you bring on the table is you want to marry her, you are on a slippery road, my friend. So, if she says no, you've proposed to her. If she says no, do not persist, my friend. Do not persist to a point of being objectionable. Remember one thing. She has right too, as a Canadian citizen, to say no. She doesn't feel you, so hit the road. Yeah, that's how it works in a real life. You know what I'm saying here, right? Now, let's put it in perspective. As she says yes, what do you do? This is where it gets even more interesting, you know? She says yes. What do you do? The next step is you got to take her out on a date. Might be a movie or restaurant. A place doesn't matter. What is important here is what you say is how you sell yourself out. How you talk, what card you throw out, what you keep in. You know, every gambler knows the secret to surviving is knowing what to throw away, knowing what to keep. You know, you're in a restaurant, you understand, you're having a meal. This is a time for a conversation, all right? You got to know what to throw in. You got to know what to keep. This is a place where you sell yourself up. You throw a couple sentences down here, couple sentences down there, all right? There are, however, a few things you need to avoid. On the first date, my friend, do not bring a Bible on a date. Do not bring a Bible on a date. I repeat it again. This is not a place where the Holy Spirit is going to talk for you, is going to speak on your behalf. This is not where God is going to be involved to talk for you. Is where you have to sell yourself. You understand me? Talk for yourself. Don't bring a Bible. Be yourself. Do not be your own representative, meaning you are somebody else, but there at that point you're talking as if it's you and it's not. Be yourself. Another thing you need to avoid is fancy conversation just to show off that you're smart. You know, some folks go like this. They're talking to a girl on the first date. They want to prove they're smart, right? They come up with some, in our solar system, there are billions and billions of galaxies, and each galaxy contains billions of stars. And in our solar system, all the galaxies make up what's called Milky Way. Brother, you planning to move to a different planet after we get married? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Another thing is, you not turn the first date into a Bible-based conversation. Adam and Eve, I was wondering, and I always wondered the kind of fruit that they ate. Was it an apple? Was it an avocado? What kind of fruit was it? Brother, who asked you about fruits? Come on, man. Come on, man. Try something down to earth, a conversation, something funny like this. If you don't know lines, I'm going to put some in your mouth right now. Listen to me. Talk to a chick like that. Hey, check this out. I was wondering if you got mirrors in your pocket, because every time I look at your pants, I see my face in there. That's a 2017 line, right? Dave Pedro, you heard this from me first, right? Keep in mind that the bottom line is you are checking if marriage is a wise decision. That's all you're doing. All this dates and stuff is you checking if marriage is a wise decision. Picture it this way. Just like two musical instruments, let's say a piano and a guitar. If correctly tuned, each produces beautiful solo music, doesn't it? Now, if they're to be played together, they both must be in tune with each other. Now, the question I ask, because it's similar with you getting married, you and your prospective chick or wife, whatever you call it, it's the same thing. Are you in tune with each other? Yeah. In other words, are you compatible? Compatibility. Are you compatible? While worshiping God together is the important aspect of you living together in harmony as a couple, there is more involved. Do not blindly think that just because you married a girl from church that all that matters. You're a fool. That's what the Bible says if you think it that way. Statistics reveal that divorce rate is as high among those who go to church as it is among those who don't go to church. That's a fact right there. Did you know that? Do you know why? Follow me on this. What I'm about to say is going to give you an idea or, enlighten your path here. Is because people get married together when they don't share the same goals. Goals. What are your goals? How do both of y'all view sex? I mean sex. Yeah, I'm talking about sex. Or you're going to wait until you're married to discuss sex-related stuff. You'll be surprised, brother. Yeah. Okay, you are avoiding conflict, so you don't want to talk about it. You wait until you're married, right? You'll be surprised. How do both of y'all feel about having children? On top of all, are you each other's friends? This is the biggest mistake that a lot of people make. Is like they get married to each other when they're not each other's friend. They think, oh, maybe with the course of time, things will get better. We will adjust. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. But the question is, do you enjoy each other's company as friends? Before somebody becomes your husband or your wife, they should first be your friend. Now, keep in mind this, to a large degree, compatibility is determined by how both of y'all are adaptable rather than how identical you are. Yeah, that's fine. That's true. That's true. You know? So instead of asking when something goes wrong, okay? Instead of saying, do we agree on everything? The better question should be, what happens when we disagree? Do we calmly discuss matters? Or our discussion often deteriorates into a heated argument? This is how you determine whether or not you are compatible or if you are trying. So my friend, let me tell you something. If somebody you want to marry is opinionated, proud, and never willing to, compromise, there's no better way to say this. Dump her. Dump her. I'm talking only to fellow brothers. Dump her. Life is short. There's no need for you to have a headache before marriage over somebody you haven't even brought into your home. Life is short. Do not shorten it up. Do you get that? Now, another question is, not even a question, this is basically, if you found out that the person you're trying to bring in to make your wife has serious problem that you cannot turn your blind eye to, what do? Let's say the way she handled money, her dealings with other people, the way she interacts with other people. Let's say she's temperamental, violent, busybody, self-centered. What do? What should you do? That's a question right there. Discontinue the relationship. I can't say it any better or any fun, mind arousing way. No. Just dump her. If you have a relationship with a girl about whom you have serious reservation, discontinue the relationship. This is for you, my brother. This is for you. You must discontinue the relationship. Now, I will tell you a few things now that you need to avoid. Practical things that you need to avoid. We call them fantasies. A lot of people live into fantasies. When you want to get into marriage, it's no longer fantasy. It's a marriage. It's a real stuff. Avoid fantasies. What kind of fantasies that you need to avoid? Fantasies that you need to avoid, my friend, if you want to be married very soon. Fantasy number one is to live on thinking, we will live on love. That's a fantasy right there. You know, reality check says you're a fool. Why? Because love would need to pay bills, no cover financial hardship. Basically, what you need to know, money handling or mishandling is the root cause of many problems in many families that lead to divorce today. Did you know that? You probably didn't. Let's move on to reality. Fantasy number two that you need to avoid is saying, we will be perfect. We will be a perfect match as a couple because we see eye to eye on everything. We disagree. Let me tell you what the Bible says in Psalm 14, verse 1. You're a fool. Why? Because reality says otherwise. If you never disagree, it's because you carefully manage to avoid issues that might cause conflicts. But marriage will never afford you that luxury, my friend. Never. Never afford you that luxury. In fact, not two imperfect humans are perfectly matched. So you should expect a measure of disagreement. That is inevitable. Let's move on to fantasy number three. You live in the fantasies, all right, before you get married. Now, you have maybe this fantasy. Oh, once I get married, all my sexual desires will be satisfied. Reality check says you're a fool. Why? Because being married does not guarantee sex on demand. You want sex on demand? Subscribe to Bell 5 TV. They have channel for that. If you expect this for your wife, you'll be lost. You lost, my friend, my brother. Some days you'll be sick. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll be not in mood. And all those days are days with no sex, my friend. Some days you will have argument with some colleague at work, and that will be another night without sex. Fantasy number 4, I will conclude with fantasy number 4 for tonight. Marriage will make me happy. You're a fool, brother. Reality says no. If you're an unhappy person while single, usually you become an unhappy married person. Think of marriage like two people coming with 2 empty boxes there. Each. You need to fill them up. Each one. Okay? Now, the problem begins when one comes expecting the other person to just fill in their empty box, fill in. That's when they start going through this never-ending grief in their lives. So above all, my friend, all I want in you is to never jump into the waters before knowing how deep they are. Never jump into the waters before knowing how deep they are. Are you ready to get married? Now, 2 decisions you're going to make out of this conversation I'm having with you, out of this talk. Either you're going to dump that chick or kiss your future bride for no reason. Kiss her for no reason. Yes, JA Studio 360, Willie speaking here. Next Monday, I'll see you again. If you like this, click like and share this video on YouTube with all your friends. Until then, take care. Willie, JS Studio Live, coming straight from Ottawa. Hello, dear listeners and viewers. My name is Willie. I'm here to bring to you live in JA Studio 360 an English program. An English program that is very fun, very enjoyable, worth your time. Let's Talk is an English program. It will be passing live on our link down there every Monday evening. Do you want to speak English just like normal human being? Do you want to cut down on things that other people are using in a needless and useless way? Things that are not important in a conversation? This is what I'm bringing to you. Not only will you be learning English, but you'll also be learning subjects, diversified subject of daily life. And you will use this in your everyday way, whether you're shopping, whether you are buying stuff, whether you're driving or doing other things, such as asking for direction even at work. All you gotta do is stay tuned. Once you are tuned to this program, you will know that we are not wasting our time. JA Studio 360, and the program is Let's Talk. When? Every Monday after 6. All you gotta do is subscribe at the link at the bottom. You can follow us on the JA Studio on YouTube, or go subscribe to Twitter. Even on Facebook, all you gotta do is type JA Studio 360 and you will see Let's Talk, a program presented to you by Willie, and it's coming live from Ottawa in Canada.
Impano zacu ni ikiganiro kigufasha kwimenya, ukisobanukirwa, ukamenya impano zari zikurimo wowe utaruzi. Izo mpano zikagufasha kwizamura no kwiteza imbere ukiyubaka. Muzajya mukurikirana iki kiganiro Impano zacu buri cyumweru kuri uyu murongo. Murakoze.